Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. Um, you can normally tell how entertaining a fighter is when they've got a scheduled fight and it gets cancelled or postponed. And you can tell by the reaction. It's the same with how important a fight is. Now, one that has recently been cancelled that I didn't bat an eyelid over was SHAKUR Stevenson against Joe Cordina. And it's not that I regard either of these fighters as bad. They're not. They're good fighters. I think it was something of a cynical matchup because Cordina is essentially being cashed out by Matchroom. He's 32 years old. He's given a couple of interviews, which certainly, if you read between the lines, more than imply that he's not on particularly good terms with Eddie Hearn. He lost his title, his IBF super featherweight title, to Anthony Kakache. That was only in May, I think May of this year. Before that, he struggled a little bit with Edward Vasquez. He won a majority 12-round decision. But before that, he had an excellent win over Shavkatson Rakimov. That was a split decision as well, and he deserved the win. Rakimov was undefeated in 18. He had one draw. And before that, he scored it's probably the best win of his career, a 2-round knockout over Kenichi Ogawa, who had a good record, 26-1-1. So, was actually favoured to beat Cordina by a lot of people anyway. So he's lost his way. His relationship with Matchroom, he seems to be playing second fiddle. I think probably when Matchroom had O'Shaki Foster and he had a title and Cordina had his title, I think they both wanted to come together for a unification. And for whatever reason, it didn't happen. And I think Foster, who's since lost his title under very, very dubious circumstances against Conceição, he kind of left Matchroom for that reason. Well, if they're not going to put me with Cordina, I want unifications. What's the bloody point? We're both under the same umbrella. And I think Cordina maybe was feeling a bit irate as well. And that's what led to this apparent placing of him down the pecking order, shall we say, in terms of Matchroom. Now, this fight that was scheduled with Stevenson, like I say, I thought it was an absolute cash out, but I wasn't bothered about it anyway, to be honest with you. And why is that? It's because I find SHAKUR Stevenson, as skillful as he is, as good a fighter as he is, I find him very dull to watch. And I don't think I'm the only person. And it's not to say that he can't be entertaining, because if you look at his performances against, the Valdez performance, which was a unanimous decision, he was very good. He combined that, level of skill and power and finesse with excitement. When he stopped Jamel Herring in 10, he was showing a bit of spite and everything. He beat Conceição, Robson Conceição over 12, which was a unanimous decision, I think. Now, and then his last two fights have been incredibly dull. Edwin de los Santos, unanimous decision over him. A very, very boring fight to watch. Artem Haratunian, he won a 12-round decision over him. Both those were for the WBC lightweight title. But he bored the place. He stank the joint out. And yes, you can talk all you like about skills and whether he's beatable or not, or, well, every fighter's beatable, but you know what I mean? How good he is good. He is good. I'm not denying that. He's a very, very good fighter. But boxing is also entertainment. And he's just hasn't been entertaining lately. Or so let's say for the last year and a half, he hasn't really. When was his? I'm trying to do some memory maths here. I think it's about a year. For the last year, certainly, he's not been very entertaining at all. And boxing fans, especially in America, what have you done for me lately? They did show photos against Haratunian of people walking out of, where was that, was it Newark or New York or somewhere? I can't remember where the fight was held, but they were walking out supposedly, and I've never walked out of a fight, but when I've paid money, I'm getting my money's worth, even if I'm bored shitless. but they were apparently a lot of people walking out. Anyway, the point is, it doesn't matter how good you are, you've got to entertain. Unfortunately, or fortunately, actually, because if you're going to get big money, you've got to provide the fans with something they actually want to see. It's kind of logical, isn't it? Pretty straightforward. Now, as far as Eddie Hearn is concerned, he signed Shakur, I think, on a 2-fight deal, and he says, I want to make him a star. And I thought at the time, good luck with that, because it takes two to tango. And Shakur is going to have to find his mojo again. He's going to have to find that vibe, that motivation where he wants to fight. He's eager to fight. He wants to get in there and show his skills and, slip and slide and, but add some power and spite to those skills, those undoubted skills, because that's what was lacking in the previous 2 fights. The class is there in terms of schooling and skills. And don't forget, he's a young man. I think he's young. I think he's about 27 now. I keep thinking he's younger because he looks young, doesn't he? But 27 is no kind of age. I mean, he's got plenty of years left. And yes, he's got to make a move now if he wants to build a legacy and win more titles and make more money. But I was thinking, who's Eddie going to match him with? And this Cordina fight clearly was a case of cashing out Cordina. You're 32. You've been a champion. I've made you some money, or we've made some money together. It's time to cash you out, right? Because I've got this young gun coming along. I'm favouring him now. And Cordina knew it. He said it in interviews. I think they asked him in one interview, who do you think Eddie wants to win? He said, I couldn't give a damn. Just like that. It was like, which kind of indicates that, it's not, all is not well in between Eddie and Joe. But could he have sprung an upset at a new weight? Because don't forget, he's moving up to lightweight now. I don't think so. I think Stevenson would have pretty much toyed with him. But the fight is off because Stevenson ripped a ligament in his hand. And that's the way it goes. Does anyone really care? I personally couldn't care less. I genuinely couldn't. And Stevenson will be out until the new year, according to Eddie Hearn. I'm wondering if they're going to leave Joe Cordina on the card. They should do. I mean, don't forget, we're talking about a former IBF champ. He was stripped, wasn't he? Rather unfairly, in my opinion, and he won the title back. But surely they can make some sort of fight with him and... Who could we have? I'm trying to think of someone. Zelfa Barrett, maybe? I don't know. Is he still with Eddie? I don't know. Anyway, they should at least put Cordina on the card, because otherwise he's had a wasted training camp, and I don't think that's very fair on Cordina. But if they don't, if they say to Cordina, no, well, there's no place for you. We're not rescheduled anything. We're not doing it. No, I mean, it really will indicate that the relationship between Matchroom and Joe Cordina is over. As far as Stevenson is concerned, will he, when his hand gets better, when it heals fully, will he be facing Cordina? I don't think so. I think that fight hasn't been postponed. I think it's been cancelled. And I think Stevenson will probably want someone else who's a bit more, who's given a bit more of a chance to beat him. Someone who he will get more kudos with defeating, rather than Joe Cordina, who everyone knows is really a super feather. You can argue that he was struggling to make the weight, fair enough, but if you move up a weight, the last person you want to be taking on is someone like Shakur Stevenson. You want to sit into the weight, let your body adapt, fight a couple of B- level fighters just to test the waters, and then you go for a Stevenson. You don't jump straight in there at a new weight. It's kind of ridiculous. But let me ask you a question. Do you care that this fight has been cancelled? Let me know your opinion. And as always, comments below, please. I want to read them, because I think Stevenson is capable of being... This is the frustrating bit. I think he's capable of being entertaining, because I've seen it in the past. But the last 2 fights have been so boring. I mean, it's like watching girders rust, But, okay. It's kind of like looking at a piece of art which has got no soul to it. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you look at a picture, you think, well, that's technically great, but it looks more like a technical drawing than a work of art. It's soulless. It's got no colour to it. Doesn't give you any kind of vibe, any kind of zest. But I don't know. You tell me what you think, and of course, comments below. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new, and hit the like button as well, because you always help out the channel by doing that. It takes a second, don't cost you nothing. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm looking forward to reading what you've got to say, and I will speak to you soon. Bye for now.